Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I am Ilene Gottlieb, the Heart Healer, and it is my joy to join you today on Facebook Live to share some wisdom, some tools, and lots of love. This is a very challenging time, to say the least, and for many of us, I think I've been pretty quiet up until today, and really the reason why I'm usually quiet is when I'm waiting for guidance to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing to serve. For those of us that are part of the spiritual and metaphysical communities, that's how we roll, right? Thank you for the love, whoever shared that. Myra, welcome. Mel, welcome. Yeah, this is a crazy time we're living in, and I am moving through this with as much grace and ease as you are as well. And so I was guided to share some wisdom, tools, and love to help navigate this pandemic experience the best that we can. And really, the most important information that I can share with you, as I don't know what I'm going to say because this is simply a general message. Hey, Tammy, welcome. Thank you for the love. The truth is that everything we experience in this realm is an opportunity for learning. It's just that simple. It's nothing more complicated than that. So the real question then becomes, what are we here to learn? What is that opportunity for learning that we've all been creating? Because this is a we. This is not just us. Hi, Adam. Thank you for joining. Pat, thank you for joining. At some point, I'm going to have to just kind of shift and not look and just welcome everyone generally, and then afterwards say hi to you through the feed. It's hard to focus on both sometimes, right? Carol, welcome. So grateful that you're here with us. Okay, so we are being asked to really recognize that we are not alone. We are not individual, not single and separate, but part of a collective of consciousness of human beings, right? And so I was watching Divine Harmony, a really amazing astrologer, earlier today in a Facebook Live that she created. And what touched me the most, separate from the astrology of it, which I don't fully understand, nor do I have the patience to go to, except to say that astrologically, this is a very challenging time. And from what she shared, my big takeaway was that one of the greatest challenges is what part of the shadow side of us is being brought up. Now, what does that mean? The shadow side is our emotional side that challenges us to be comfortable in our skin. It's the stuff that makes us uncomfortable. It's the stuff we really don't want to look at. It's those emotions of fear and anger and sadness and depression that trigger all of us in feeling really horrible. And yet we were not brought into these bodies to suffer. I know this to be true. And yet I suffer along with the rest of you. Trust me on that. We're all human first. We all know what it is to be spirit. We're here for the human experience. And it's important that we remember that so that we can be more loving towards ourselves, less judging towards ourselves first. And then when we can hold that space with ourselves, then indeed we're able to hold that space with others. Amla, Denny, welcome. And so when we recognize that everything is an opportunity for learning, And if we trust in that, I want to share with you that really the best opportunity for learning is in alignment with our soul's purpose for being here. And I believe that our soul's purpose, our soul, S-O-L-E and S-O-U-L, purpose for being here is singular. And it is the same for all of us, whether we consciously know it or not. And that soul purpose is to remember, not learn, but to remember how to be a loving presence unto ourselves first. This relationship with ourselves as human being is unique. It is unlike any other experience that we have ever had or that we will have at any other time. We are unique in our physical expression, in our ego, mind, personality, in our emotions, in our words and thoughts. We are unique from everyone else. Even twins, they have unique brain waves, unique personalities, even if they're identical to each other in the physical realm. There are many connections that they have that others don't, but they're each here having a unique human experience. If we can remember as often as we can that we're here for the human experience and that it's all about remembering how to be a loving presence in our relationship with ourselves first, which is not narcissistic, it's not self-centered or selfish. It is truly all about just the simple why that we're here and how it works. Because the more we are loving in this relationship with ourselves, the more we're able to be that way with others. Our world right now is struggling. It was struggling before this pandemic started. That just brought the suffering part of it up to the surface even more and made it more public, more known, more visible. But every day we are suffering if we are not in our hearts with ourselves first. Now, can we hold that space 24/7? Oh, of course not, because that's part of the human experience. So if you can't hold that space 24/7, I'm right there with you. But the more we can choose, if we believe this, if this is part of what you believe, the more we can hold that space with ourselves, the more everything else is easier. Because whenever we are living in a conscious heart connection, loving, making choices that are loving for ourselves first, then we are in alignment with our soul's purpose for being here. Therefore, everything flows so much more easily. You know what it feels like when you just have a knowing of something, and when you have a knowing of something and you choose based on that knowing how everything just falls into place? I know you've experienced that, right? That's you making a choice that's in alignment with your soul's purpose for being here. And when you make a choice that's not in alignment with your soul's purpose for being here, it's very much a struggle, right? And I know you've experienced that too. We all have. It's part of how it works, right? But whether we have this physicality, mind, ego, personality, and emotions, and thoughts and beliefs or not, what we have is the ability to consciously choose how we're being in it through all of this human sensory input. Anytime we experience a challenge, whether it's a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic challenge, we are being asked to go deeper into our heart connection. It's that simple. When we make things really complicated and we ask 1,000 questions and we need to know why, we have a compulsion. We've got to know why. What will happen is we will get so caught up in the engaging or the engagement with the questioning that we're no longer able to consciously choose how we're being in the experience. Does that make sense to you, I hope? Because for me, our superhuman power is but one, and that's conscious choice. And it's conscious choice about who we're being in this relationship with us first. Because everything else is a knee-jerk reaction versus a conscious choice to respond. Now, a lot of those knee-jerk reactions are childhood-related traumas that we've all experienced, and they dictate how we're being in the experience a lot of the time if we're not choosing to use our superhuman power of conscious choice. Trust me when I say to you, we all have childhood trauma. We all have trauma, period. I love one of our colleagues, my colleague, Michelle Rosenthal, who is a trauma coach. I can't remember her formal title. She'll post it in the comments at some point so that you can know, and you can reach out to her if you want to. But she did a presentation recently that I was blessed to listen to. And I may not be expressing it exactly the way that she did it, but she basically, there are over 100 people in the room, and basically she said, has anybody had, I think it was, have you ever had a feeling that didn't feel good, right? And if I'm wrong in the way I'm remembering this, Michelle, please forgive me. And she asked all those people to kind of step over to one side of the room. Well, of course, everybody went there because no matter what it is, if it doesn't feel good, it's a type of trauma. It's a level of energetic experience that feels less than loving. When you add an experience of a pandemic to that philosophy, what you get to see is worldwide suffering. That's what this is. No one is going unscathed. We are all being affected on some level, no matter how far remotely someone lives from large communities of people, or whether they live in the midst of an incredibly dense city. Everyone's being affected by this because we're all connected. It's not just the economics of it or the trying to think of all the different terms, the politics, the economics. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Whatever it is, we're all connected. And we are all affected by this. Many people, to shift a little bit to the actual experience of being a part of this, and I've never experienced this in my life before. I don't know when the last time there was a worldwide epidemic like this that affected so many people in so many countries to this degree. I'm 67 years old, and I certainly haven't experienced it in my lifetime. And so when we think about it from the physical perspective, there's a lot of interesting information that's cycling through emails and Facebook and other social media. And the CDC in the United States has been making certain recommendations. The idea is that this type of virus, and what's important to understand about it from my layperson's perspective, even though I'm a nurse, I come to you from a layperson's perspective. It's a virus that's an unknown to us. More starting with the animal kingdom, and it's transferred to the human kingdom, to the humanity part of this planet. And it's unpredictable because we haven't had enough time to study it yet. We don't know if immunity will be created if one experiences it. We don't know exactly when it started. We don't know, we can't anticipate with exposure exactly what the response is going to be in the body. And that's going to create and does create and has created a lot of fear for all of us. So, what can we do in order to be a we instead of just an me? The three areas or segments of our population that are the most critically affected by this are children, the elderly, and those that are immunocompromised. And so clearly, anyone that is immunocompromised, if you've gone through chemo, if you just have anything that is limiting your immune system to function at its optimum best, you might have had the flu in the fall or in December. Remember those people that were around you that had that cough that would not give up? We don't know if that was the early exposure to this virus or not. And as far as I'm understanding, we don't even have enough testing kits to prove it one way or the other. And I don't know if exposure and resolution is able to be tested yet. But imagine those people not knowing that they might have had a virus that is potentially lethal to certain segments of the population are out and about doing their thing. They're going to the grocery store, they're doing their shopping, they're going to work because they need to make a living, right? They're visiting their family, they're visiting their neighbors. The numbers of a disease process like this, if you've watched the news, is that it exponentially expands over very short periods of time. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not a false story. This is a valid issue, a valid disease process that is affecting millions and more. There are many estimates as to how many Americans in the United States will be affected by this virus. What can we do to minimize that? That's the question. What can we do to boost our immune systems? What can we do to enhance our experience of this so that it minimizes the amount of trauma that is currently being experienced? If we look at it from the holistic perspective, from the physical perspective, from the physical presence part of it, isolate yourself from other people as much as you can. It minimizes your exposure and it minimizes the exposure of people to you if you're carrying the virus and you don't know it. And you can be carrying it and not know it. And that's important to know, not to bring up fear. It's just a logical sequence of how it works. Hand washing is always the most important way to prevent the transmission of anything that can be transmitted by touch. And this can be transmitted by touch because if you touch a surface that has it on it, and then you go to wipe your nose or, you breathe it in. So it comes in respiratory droplets. If someone coughs in front of you and they're carrying it, it's definitely something that you can breathe in. I read that there are two pretty much primary ways that this virus expresses itself. One is as a simple cold because it's staying in the upper respiratory system, and that can be very mild and pretty much be considered to be something not related to the pandemic, but it can be. And the other is the more serious expression of it, where the virus anchors itself in the lungs. Either way, there's no treatment except palliative care or preventative. I'm all for the preventative. For me, that's how I always want to live my life anyway. I don't want to go catching up to a disease process. I'd rather be proactive. And for those of you that agree with that philosophy, then what you want to consider is boosting your immune system in ways that speak to you. For me, I'm using Thieves essential oil in my diffusers almost 24/7. They are in, and I'm always home anyway, and now I am intentionally socially distancing myself from neighbors, from family. I am in for the duration of however long I be here, and I'm comfortable with that. Now that I have toilet paper. That's another story that I'm going to tell you in a second. I must say that I am chuckling at some of the things on social media that had to do with this toilet paper, panic that people had. And it's funny on the one hand, but it isn't. Um, so boosting the immune system, essential oils. I know that my colleague Lindsay Babbage was very kind in adding to a post where this was a conversation, and said that for some people, thieves on the diffuser, or oils like clove that are hot oils, cinnamon, oregano, if you're using these oils on your diffuser to be more boosting of your immune system, keeping your air clean, etc., then sometimes it can be very irritating to the mucous membranes and to the gentleness of your eyes. I don't experience that, but if you do, then consider diffusing in the rooms that you're not in, and move the diffuser around for when you're in those rooms so that you're not getting a direct exposure to it. If you're finding that you're really being sensitive or experiencing activity. Okay. All right. Water, hydration, rest, eating foods that are more life affirming than comfort foods. We all have our comfort food list, right? But staying away from eggs, dairy, corn, gluten. Our recommendations, among others, from Anthony William, the medical medium, and I respect his gift of knowing how the body works. Eggs are food for us. Whether you have the flu, a cold, vitiligo like I have, which is Epstein-Barr virus caused, anyone that has, and we all have viruses in our body. We can't be in a body and not have them. We do. We're exposed. They're in there. Eggs are food for viruses. So if you can avoid eating eggs or things made with eggs over the next few weeks, it will be helpful. It will help boost your immune system, because whatever virus load you have, it will lower it, if that makes sense. All right. Greens products, lemon lime oil, lemon lime juices are very alkalinizing to the body. Anything that brings the body to a balanced alkalinity, for those of you that have Kangen water, setting it at a balanced alkaline level makes the internal cellular environment of the body inhospitable to germs and viruses. So keeping hydrated with good, healthy water, structured water, filtered water, and having it be alkaline, not to the extreme, but to the right of midline. Have you ever seen one of those pH test tapes? On the one side, the really acidic side is usually a pale yellow, and on the opposite side, the more alkaline, it's a very dark blue-green, right? Okay. Well, what you want to do is you want to be in the middle and a little bit towards alkalinity, because alkalinity is much harder to correct than acidity is. There's also a very wonderful product that Young Living has called Alkaline, Alkaline, that really helps to bring the body into a nice balanced state of alkalinity, and very quickly. It's a fizzy drink. Any greens products that are clean, organic, because if you're not eating organically for these types of products, you're adding more toxins to the load, which affects our immune system, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Okay. Okay, nutritional supplements. There are many other ones that's not my field of expertise. There are many wonderful people out there that you can talk to about what nutritional supplements might work the best for you. Um, and I'm not remembering names of people right now. Geez, my brain just went blank for that. If I can think of other people after the Facebook Live, I'll put it in the comments, or I'll add it to the post description so that you can have those resources. So physically, it's gushing, staying socially distant from other people so that you are being exposed less to any active virus from someone else sneezing or coughing or touching you. No hugging. You know what I mean? You just you smile and say hello to people, and that's it, or stay away from everyone. As I said, I am doing a self-imposed social distancing because I'm doing it not just for me, because to me, that's my contribution to our community, our collective, so that if I'm carrying something and don't know it, I'm not exposing someone else who can then expose someone else, who can then expose someone else. And I don't want to put those that are at greatest risk, the young children, the elderly, like my mom, and those that are immunocompromised any more at risk than they already are. I haven't seen my mom for over 10 days because she had a cold, and then they locked down the ALF that she lives in to visitors. So we talk 3 or 4 times a day, and that's the best I can do. And I'm not going to give them a hard time about it because I think that's the best choice. And I would invite us all to adopt that philosophy if you feel comfortable with it, right? Okay, rest, hand washing. Keep your hands away from your face if you must go out. Wear a mask if you feel that you need to. But know that the regular masks that they have in CVS or Walgreens are not going to prevent the transmission of the virus. They're going to keep you from touching your face, which is a way of transmitting it. And that's a really good thing to do. Limit your time around people. Don't go out to dinner if you don't have to. I know restaurants are open and I'd love to be able to support them. Get takeout where you're not touching anybody, or get delivery and have them leave the product at your door. Wipe everything down that you bring into the house. Okay? Okay. Hydration, rest, sunlight. Put your face in the sun for a little bit during the day outside so that you can, obviously sun is outside, right? So that you can have that health benefit. Ground to the earth. It helps to maintain balance in the body. I'm sure there are many other things, alkalinity, etc. When we go to the emotional level, we're dealing with very dense emotions of fear and anticipatory grief for some people. For those of you that are empaths, those are people that feel other people's emotions. My heart goes out to you. I know that you're feeling the collective energy of humanity's emotions, and I know how uncomfortable it is. I can only say to you, use whatever the tools are that you know how to use, or reach out to me or someone else that can help you to navigate the volume of emotion that you are being exposed to at this time. We're going to talk about the Ho'oponopono in just a moment as a mitigation tool for these energies. And I will share some very specific statements. I'm going to go over just the basics of why this process is so powerful, etc. Okay. So all emotions that are dense, mean that's all the emotions that don't feel good, are dense, they're a low vibration, they will adversely affect your health and well-being, including your immune system. So laugh. Be in the energy of joyful emotions the best that you can. Breathe into and out of your heart center as much as you can. Look at funny things on YouTube or watch funny movies. Don't watch CSI, forgive me, or Criminal Minds or movies that are violent, etc. They only increase your cortisol levels. Do the things that bring you joy. Think of that which you are in appreciation of, that will raise your vibration. Whenever we put ourselves in the presence of the energy of love by breathing into and out of our hearts, what happens is our overall vibration raises. It's most amazing. Such a simple tool. Just breathe into the heart center right here and out as often as you can remember. It activates what's referred to as a coherent or a balancing waveform from the heart itself. Our hearts are very smart, has intelligent cells in it. We think our brain is our central intelligence agency because that central nervous system connects to our peripheral nervous system, and it's all, we have nerves all over our body that our brain is connected to. But the truth is that our hearts are much smarter than our brains and can bring all of our organ systems into harmonic balance with its frequency, which is the frequency of love, which is the highest frequency that exists. So the essence of energetic healing is put something a low vibration in the presence of a higher vibration. The lower vibration will do everything it can do to increase its frequency and meet the higher vibration. This is the essence of energetic healing. It's a quantum physics principle. That and what you focus on is what's going to expand and grow. So let's focus on solutions. Let's focus on opportunities. Let's focus on creative ideas to help each and every one of us move through this time with a modicum of grace and ease and health and well-being that raises your vibration. Appreciation is the highest measurable emotion. Gratitude. Love is not measurable. It's so high. So the more you think about love, the more you breathe in and out of your heart center, the more you think loving thoughts, the more you monitor what you're saying and what you're thinking and shift it, re-language it to something that is more life-affirming, more kind, more loving, more gentle, more grateful. The higher your vibration will go, the better you'll feel. Not just for now. This is really all the time. But we're focusing on it now because of the severity of the experience that we are all having, that we are all sharing. Okay? Okay, so that's emotional. Mental, I just mentioned it a little bit. Those are our thoughts, our beliefs. I always add to it, it's what we speak, what we think, what we hear intuitively. It's all of that. Our mind is designed to do but one thing. Think the same thoughts over and over and over again until we drive ourselves crazy. So when you find that your thoughts are not life-affirming, you find that the beliefs that you are currently living with are not supporting you anymore. They're changeable. Just change them. You get to choose. You know, there was a time that everybody thought the world was flat. That was a belief. They thought that if you went past a certain point, off the edge of the earth, you'd fall and disappear and be gone forever. Christopher Columbus went out, came back and said, lo and behold, the world's not flat, it's round. Many people went to their graves believing that the world was flat. They couldn't shift their beliefs. We live in a time that by shifting our beliefs, we change our reality. Sometimes instantaneously. What we believe is very important. So spending a little time to take stock in what you do believe, and then asking the question, does it serve my highest good to continue holding that belief? And if it doesn't, toss it, let it go. Replace it with a belief that is more life affirming for you in this time, and then move forward with that. Our spiritual connection is the next prong of the holistic model. That's unique and individual to each of us. If you believe in a higher power, God, divine creator, great spirit, Allah, Jesus, Buddha, whomever, this is your essence, where your essence came from. This is the essence of your creator. The more you connect consciously with your soul essence, the higher your vibration. Meditation and prayers are wonderful tools. Meditation of any kind, whether it's transcendental meditation or you create a meditation process that's you breathing into and out of your heart center repeatedly for build up to 20 minutes twice a day. Transcendental meditation was my first entry into meditation. It's a wonderful tool. There's some great teachers out there. Doing any kind of prayer work, whether it's running the rosary or whatever it is feels good to you, opening up your Bible and doing your reading each day, whatever your path to connectedness is, to that which is the love that you have come from, be connected to it as often as you can. Let it be a way of being, not just a go to church or temple kind of thing once a week. Let it be something that you bring into your day-to-day life experience, if not your moment by moment one. Because the truth is, based on my channel and my experience, you have to trust yours. We're never separate from source, from God. Our soul essence is that light of love. And that soul essence is what breathed itself into us when we took our first breath, when we entered these bodies. And it has been connected to every cell in our body, every moment since then, and will stay there, connected to us ever present, giving us our vital life force until we take our last breath. And we complete this human journey and continue on to wherever your beliefs say that you continue on to. You're not alone, and you are never separate from love. Keep breathing into and out of your heart center, and it will be more and more real to you that love is always available, always right here. It's not an outside job. Seek not that which you desire from outside of you. It is within. And breathe with me a moment. Thank you. For those of you that want to understand more of how you can, by heart connection, raise your vibration and how healing it can be, go to the HeartMath, HeartMath.org website. They've been doing research on the intelligence of the heart for decades. There is a plethora of scientific research, papers, articles, tools that you can take advantage of. I trust them. They're people of integrity. The wisdom that they're sharing with humanity is valid and wonderful for all of us. So that's for your left brain need. That's a wonderful resource right there. HeartMath.org, and that's the website for the HeartMath Institute, which is in California. So we've gone through ways that we can support our immune system physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. We've talked about self-distancing, social distancing, to during this time where in the United States, the numbers of those exposed is ever increasing, so that by Limiting our exposure, we limit the potential spread of the virus. A great gift that we give to the rest of our community in this country and therefore beyond. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Ho'oponopono. I think that will probably be maybe 15, 20 more minutes because I want to do a meditation with everyone so that, and I will post it after and I will email it out to my list so that, and I'll post it on YouTube and I'll post a link wherever I've posted this video. And that way, if you want to, you can listen to it again, my gift from my heart to you, and you can listen to the meditation again if you want to. Okay. So I have been teaching Ho'oponopono for a little over a year now, guided to through spirit. I'm not going to go through the whole story of how I came to teaching it. Let it suffice for me to say to you that this process is an ancient process. It's considered an ancient Hawaiian process. And the ancient Hawaiians are a culture of about 2,500 odd years old. But from channel, what I understand is that this process is actually tens of thousands of years old. It's been around a long time. Do you wonder if things are around a long time? Why is that? They're significant for us when they keep recycling so that humanity has access to them. There are some wonderful Ho'oponopono teachers on the planet right now. Mabel Katz has a plethora of YouTube videos and books that she's written, and she is a great servant to the Latin community for those that are only Spanish speaking. But she does have some videos, some YouTube videos that are in English as well. Dr. Hulen, E. Haleakala Hulen, my teacher, unfortunately is retired, but you get the benefit of going to YouTube and watching his as well. There is an inner child meditation that he has on YouTube, and that's Dr. Hu, H-E-W, Len, L-E-N. I invite you to use the resources that cost nothing, that will bring you great peace, potentially. Okay? So Ho'oponopono is a process of forgiveness. Originally, it was for conflict resolution within the community, because the communities, particularly the Hawaiians, their core value was peace. So whenever there was a lack of peace, the senior member of a family or the kahuna came in and made sure that this process was facilitated until everything was peaceful again. Everyone had to participate that was part of the conflict. Everyone had to say, I love you. Everyone had to say, I'm sorry for whatever I did to contribute or cause this conflict. Everyone had to ask for forgiveness from everyone, you know, for whatever their contribution was in the conflict. And everyone had to appreciate each other, express gratitude until it was complete. In the 70s, there was a Hawaiian kahuna named Morna Simeona who channeled an updated version. It's called Self-Identity through Ho'oponopono. What that means to me is that it has shifted from a community process to one that basically says there really isn't anything outside of us. When we're looking to heal something, everything is inside of us. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. So what that says to me is, and Ho'oponopono believes, that everything begins with a thought. But we don't know what those thoughts are. We don't know where those thoughts come from. Hulen teaches us that it is memories replaying, but we don't know whose memories. They could be from our ancient ancestors or from a great-grandparent. They could be memories that we picked up like a virus on the computer from somebody that we were having a conversation with or that we took a class with. We don't know, and it doesn't matter. We can either choose to engage with the things that create suffering for us, or we can choose not to. It gets to be that simple. And I invite you, don't engage. Don't ask about it. Don't try and figure it out, because the truth is that for every 15, that's 1.5 bits of information per second that you have a conscious awareness of, there are 11 million bits of information per second that you don't have a clue about, that are emanating from your subconscious mind. So when you ask the question, how am I manifesting? How did we manifest this pandemic? You're never going to know the actual answer or the all of it. So if you give up the need to figure it out from a personal perspective, I'm going to give you a tool that will just help keep clearing whatever the cause is. Hopefully that will speak to you. So the way this works is in the simplest terms, and if you want to learn more about this, just reach out to me. I teach this one-on-one. I will teach groups of you in a conference call or on a Zoom if you have a group of people you want to put together, because we're not doing classes right now. Okay? So think of it this way. This is a brief psychology of the mind. The mind is comprised of our connection to Divine Creator, the Father. That's the psychology of it. The conscious mind, represented by the mother, and the subconscious mind, represented by the child. When we say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or just I love you, or just thank you, what we're doing is we are saying to whatever the cause is for our suffering, and we don't know what it is, right? We just see the effect of what that suffering is causing us, either within our own personal experience of it or outside of us, like when we watch the news and we see the suffering going on around the world, in Europe, in China, everywhere. Cause and effect. Everything in this realm is cause and effect, and it begins with a thought. And it emanates from the subconscious mind. And we don't know how that works. We don't know how to stop that. But what we do know is that if we keep putting this Ho'oponopono prayer into action, if we keep initiating it, it will keep clearing the root cause of everything and anything. So for today, we're going to focus on anything related to the pandemic and the suffering of humanity at this time. So when we say, I love you, we're saying the conscious mind, the mother, is saying to the child, subconscious mind, I love you. The subconscious mind holds the memory of the thought that's the cause for the pandemic. I know for some of you, this may sound very far-fetched, but if you can hang with me a little bit longer, you don't need to understand it to use it. Okay? All you need to do is just keep saying the statement. So, think of yourself as lovingly speaking to a small child and saying, I love you. I'm sorry for whatever I did to create this. Please forgive me for whatever I did to create this. And because those three statements say to Divine Creator that I'm accepting 100% responsibility for having created it, even though I haven't a clue how I did it, because everything begins within me with a thought in my subconscious mind. God, Divine Creator, says she's accepting 100% responsibility. I'm going to send down a purifying light and remove that program from her, from me. But God, in its infinite wisdom and compassion, erases that pattern, that issue, that problem from not only me, from my subconscious mind, but from the subconscious mind of my cells, cells, my body, and from the subconscious mind of everyone and anything that I'm connected to. Remember, there's not just me, there's we. We're all connected. This is a collective experience. We're all sharing this program together. Therefore, we can each clear it on behalf of we, all of us. So this is the phrase, and then I'll explain it again. To whatever memories are in me to whatever memories are in me that are the cause for this pandemic infection and humanity's suffering on any and all levels that I am to atone for. ATONE. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Or just I love you repeatedly, or just thank you repeatedly. That's it. That's all you need to keep saying to whatever memories are in me that are the cause for this pandemic infection and humanity's suffering on any and all levels that I am to atone for. Not because you caused it consciously, but because we're a collective. Therefore, we've all caused this on some level because it all began with a thought somewhere. We don't know where. It doesn't matter. It's not about blame or judgment. It's just how this works. Breathe. Relax your belly and breathe. It's a simple tool. Use it often. If you want to support your immune system, you can also use it in a direct way and just simply say to whatever memories are in me that limit my immune system on any and all levels that I'm to atone for. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or just I love you, or just thank you. Remember, the thank you is to God, Divine Creator, for clearing it, because we can't clear it. We don't know what it is, but God does. Okay, let me see if there's anything else that I feel like I need to share with you. Quick shoot through your comments and see if there's anything that I need to. Oh, I'm loving all of you that are here. Thank you so much. Lisa, thank you. Oh, Lisa, thank you. Okay, let's just see if anybody wrote a comment. Thank you, Judith, for being here. Yes, Lisa's talking about she feels like she's picking up on everybody else. You are. You're an empath. And as I mentioned earlier in this broadcast, for those of you that are empathic, that feel other people's feelings, and there are a few on here that are empathic healers. You heal through the experience of feeling other people's feelings. Hang in there. You know, do whatever you need to do to support you. And if you need more support, then please. Saying the Ho'oponopono will help mitigate that. To whatever memories are in me that are the cause for this feeling. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, or just I love you, or just thank you. Just keep saying it until that feeling of picking up other people's fear goes by. Okay, let me see what else we got here. Hold on a second. This is not wanting to move. Right, okay. Oh, come on, you're not moving. Hi, Jen, welcome. Shifting and practicing. What's a good way to remind myself? I'm having a hard time shifting and practicing. Megan, a hard time shifting and practicing, meaning using the Ho'oponopono, assuming that's what you mean. If that's the case, you just have to keep reminding yourself. Put a reminder in your phone if you want to. Maybe put a quick reminder, however frequently you want to do it, in your phone with an alarm, maybe every 2 hours, maybe once an hour, and just very quickly go through whatever you want to say. If it's to support the whole, to whatever memories are in me that is the cause for this pandemic experience, and humanity's suffering that I am to atone for. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, and thank you. Or to whatever memories are in me that is causing my fear and limiting my immune system. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Just I love you, or just thank you, etc. It's just a matter of reminding ourselves. Anything that we really want to do, we will keep reminding ourselves to do. So find a reason to want to do it. You know, it's Dr. DeMartini's hierarchy of values. Whatever very important to you, link doing this to that, right? Okay, let's see what else is there here. Hold on a minute. Hi, Angela. Welcome, welcome. So good to see you here. Whatever the memories are in me that are the cause of this. Okay, Lisa wrote it. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for writing that phrase. Thank you, Carla, for writing the prayer. I appreciate that. Megan, you're welcome for the refresher. My joy. All right. Does anybody have any questions about anything that I've said so far? If not, we're going to do a quick meditation. And I'm going to even give us a little bit of music. Won't that be nice? We let this hook up to the speaker. Hold on. Can somebody put a message here? Can you hear music okay? If someone would post yes or no. I see thumbs ups. Thank you. I appreciate that. Does it be any louder or is that good? A thumbs up if it's a good volume. Okay, let me add it a little bit higher. Okay. Feels very loud to me. All right. So thank you everyone for joining me. We're going to do a little meditation now just to help clear, bring some peace, connect us with love, enhance our healing. I love you all. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share with you. So get into a position of comfort, uncross your ankles and knees. Relax your belly muscles, don't hold it in. And if you want to, close your eyes. And begin to breathe with a focus into and out of your heart center, that beautiful energy center in the middle of your chest. Nice, deep, slow breaths into and out of your heart center. And as you breathe, imagine, if you will, your hierarchy of spirit beings that walks this journey with you. Maybe it's your God essence, maybe it's Mother Mary or Jesus. Maybe it's an archangel or an animal totem like wolf or dog or horse. Call in the divine presence of love that always walks with you every moment of every day. But in this free will dimension, we must invite them in to support us. We must ask for their presence. So do that now. Call in whoever you hold sacred and holy. And imagine them like a cocoon of love light surrounding you. And breathe in their love. And let it fill your heart. A mirror of the love that you already are. And breathe. And if you want to add any essential oils to your experience, take a moment, put a drop in your hand, rub your hands together, breathe it in. Place it on your crown, your third eye, on your heart, throat, wherever else you feel drawn to connect it to. Breathe it in. And as you breathe, feel the essence of peace come over you. Imagine it as a color, if you will. Feel it in your face, the top of your head, your jaw and around your eyes, your neck, throat, and shoulders. Feel it in your chest, in your abdomen, in your back, upper, mid, lower back. Feel that sense of peace in your hips and pelvis and legs and feet and arms and hands. Breathe in that feeling, that color of peace. And let's focus on our heart centers now. Let's focus on the light of love. Imagine that cocoon of love light. Breathe it in. So that you're filled from head to toe, from deep within every organ system, every function and structure within the head to toe, filled and surrounded with light of love, the highest frequency that exists. And what we know is that when we breathe into our hearts and out, a wave form of love emanates from us in all directions. A gift of love flowing from us for everyone. So imagine that waveform of love flowing from you. And let's imagine it going down to the center of the earth. And once it reaches the center of the earth, it immediately expands in all directions. A gift of love to Mother Earth herself and all that she does to support us in gratitude. And it keeps flowing through the earth to the surface of the earth. A gift of love to all of us who dwell upon her everywhere. Every human being, every animal, every sentient being gifted with the vibration of love, supporting their healing, helping them to mitigate their fear, boosting their immune system and ours. And that love continues to flow through our atmosphere, out into the universe, a gift of love to everyone and everything. For we can't possibly be alone in this universe, for it is so vast and expansive. All the way back to the source of all that is, whatever you believe that to be. To me, it's the one heart of love. And what we know is that what we gift out, what we send out, comes back to us multiplied. So imagine all of that love expanding and coming back to you multiplied. And breathe it in. And let it fill you up even more. Breathe it into your heart center. And let every cell in your body be brilliantly vibrant with the light of love. Helping to transmute any emotion that doesn't feel good. Raising your vibration, boosting your immune system, bringing the feeling of joy and gratitude. You can think with me as I say this, to support all of us in humanity. As you breathe and focus on your heart center, whatever memories are in me that are the cause for this pandemic infection and the suffering of humanity on any and all levels that I am to atone for. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, God, for clearing it all. We know not how we have created this, but we trust and know that we are connected to it in some way. And we thank you for serving our highest and clearing it all for all of us that are currently in a body and beyond. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And breathe. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. To all those that are suffering, to whatever memories are in me that is the source of your suffering on any and all levels, that I am to atone for. I love you. Sorry, please forgive me. Thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. You're not alone. You're not alone. We are all connected at the heart. We are one light of love. You're not alone. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And so it is. And so it is. And you can choose to hold this space for as long as you want to, or you can come back into your body with me now if you'd like. Thank you for sharing this time with me. I'm so grateful. I'm here for you if I can support you. Text me if you know my phone number, or email me through the web, ilenethehearthealer.com, ilenethehearthealer.com. Message me here on Facebook, wherever you're seeing this video. You're not alone. None of us are. We're here for each other. Please know that. From my heart of love to yours. I am Ilene Gottlieb, the Heart Healer. I will hopefully do this a bit more often during this challenging time where I know Spirit is guiding for me to connect with more often. Watching, I'll post it as soon as I'm given clear message as to how I am to serve. Until then, take good care of you, please. Much love and blessings. Good night.